Hi, my name is Nikki Schauder, and I'm from Permaculture Gardens at permaculturegardens.org. And today I wanted to talk to you about fall transplanting. So I'm going to pull up my notes, and this is taken actually as a snippet from a book that I'm writing for Ogden Publishing. Hopefully, we'll see at the end of the year. And this is chapter 7, all about transplanting. And in particular, I wanted to talk to you about fall transplanting. So, transplanting in the fall is a bit different from transplanting in the spring. In a way, it ushers a new hope after those spring crops failed earlier in the year. If you had any of those, you have another chance in the fall. Think puny Brussels sprouts, spinach that bolted, or that aphid infested kale. The cool weather and the lower bug pressure of fall may ensure a more successful cool weather harvest. But fall transplanting doesn't happen in the fall. It happens in mid to late July. It starts happening then, and depending on how your weather is going, we've been trying to transplant since July, but sometimes it isn't always possible due to really hot temperatures. Revisit the section, and if this is a part of the book, as I mentioned, where we talk about planting calendars in chapter 4. And if you aren't familiar already, get to know the spring crops you might be able to grow again in the fall. A good example of such a crop to retry is spinach. Assuming spinach takes approximately 40 days to reach harvest, calculate the best time to plant by counting backward from the first expected frost date. So you will need a first expected frost date. If your first expected frost date, so go Google your first expected frost date right now. If your expected frost date is on October 13, for instance, count back 40 days from October 14 and you should get September 3rd. Be sure to transplant your spinach seedling on September 3rd together to harvest, to get your harvest before your frost date of October 13th. Now, we all know that the climates are changing and that we're getting warmer and warmer temperatures. So say it isn't September 3rd and you are experiencing a warmish fall, as is the case with us right now, then you would like to try transplanting as soon as you can even through the month of October and see how far that will get. And if it doesn't, and if there aren't, and if you get a frost, for instance, in October, which I feel is not possible given the temperatures that we've been experiencing, then there are ways to cover your crop. There are ways to protect it from the cold, which we'll talk about on a different time. So that is how you count back. Now, if you are starting from seed, you want to add 14 days, 7 to 14 days prior to that date. So let's say October 13 was your first frost date, minus 40 days, September 3rd, minus 14 days, and that brings you into July. But you can always direct sow is another thing. And that's honestly a hit or miss, because most of the time my direct sows, I do those just when I'm just not expecting a harvest, because I don't want to count on them and be heartbroken. So that is how we calculate normally your temperatures given your first frost dates. I hope that's been helpful, and I hope that you can take this and run with it and calculate your own frost dates. Or if you have access to Sage, log into Sage, plot the date that you would like, plot the plant that you'd like to grow and your zip code. And you can also now do something where you ask for that's something specific to fall gardening. And I'll share my screen in just a minute here as I pull it up. So I'm going to add a plant. And I'm going to say I want to do Brussels sprouts. It's going to say I can't do it. Oh no, spinach, right? Spinach. Brussels sprouts takes a long time, that's why. And this is for the fall. And Veriflay is this. And we're going to start it from seed, and we're going to have one plant. Create planting dates, use last possible date. So there's this little tick box that you can check out. Check. Create. And there's my spinach. Fall. And it says, it estimates my planting date. But when do I plant it is the problem. So anytime between July 7th, what is that? Why does that say January 7th? It means July 7th. Oh, 7th one. It's in European time. Okay. July 1st to oh, here we go. See starting date. 11/24, 11/31, and the harvest in January. Now, I don't know why it's doing this, but it's neglecting my, oh, it's because I'm in a different time. This is a California climate.